With George's image, this really the print makes this image. You really need to see this one in person. There's a presence about it. Here on the screen, it looks a bit flat and humdrum, but that color really punches on the paper itself, and so I think that it leaves something to be desired here, but in print, it's gorgeous. With Tom's image, we're looking through the window to get towards the landscape. So again, it's really this framing device of looking through a man-made structure that is kind of inhospitable and kind of run down. It kind of creates the mood based on the landscape that we're seeing. This wonderful night landscape has a really vibrant man's cars cutting straight through that landscape, and that vibrant red, very highly moving, dynamic line kind of curving through the landscape, really slicing it in half. Very beautiful. With Joni's image after the storm, there's more steam and more smoke than we've had in a lot of images, and it kind of does very evocative, this kind of water in the air, and that atmospheric perspective sets a really nice foreground-background relationship, cutting through, very cinematic, really. With this other image we have by Catherine is a really interesting use of selective focusing. Looks as it'd be through a lens baby, but it kind of creates a really interesting, evocative mood. It kind of creates a sensibility about it you wouldn't get from just a normal straight shot. Very dark, very kind of sublime. In Catherine's Peanut Lake, we have this amazing, powerful, passionate red that's just kind of glowing off the page. And it's the glow in the top left really is asymmetrical in a sense of the composition, because that silhouetted form just has nothing to compete with that. It's really about the sky. With Catherine's Smoky Sunrise, we have another very powerful color piece. These gorgeous pinks through roses into lavenders and purples in the sky, those gradiated tones, and the silhouettes of the forms both in the background and in the grasses are kind of like teeth just silhouetted, jutting out across that sky. With Sophia's image, I think that this is probably the most evocative or mood-provoking image that we have. This kind of large panoramic of these kind of wistful steam coming through, kind of early morning. It's just very, very gorgeous. Really sets a great time and place. The interesting part about John's picture of Colorado 2009 is this juxtaposition we have of man and land kind of combining. It feels a little bit at odds with all that street. For the layering to be cutting across, I'd really like all that to be very parallel, so it's a very obvious transition. With Barb's piece, A Quiet Place, it's the first time in this whole show where we have a figure in the image, and that kind of does change the way this image looks. It almost stands out because of it. But that otherwise beautiful landscape, and we're having like the snow, it kind of creates a good scene. To begin with, we're going to look at Ferentz's downtownscape. This is a very postmodern image. Sort of when you first look at it, it has the constructs of a painting, but then that's just the reflections, kind of double reflection of the panes of glass, creating a very interesting kind of bold shapes and forms that you kind of have to look twice at. With Polar Landscape, it has the feeling of a really deep, deep, deep mountainscape, but really, actually, what it is it's the frozen ice crystals on the roof of his car, and with the landscape there in the background that was artificially put in. Very, very masterful. With Drew's black and white abstract of the pond that we have here, it's really fun because there's a reflection and you're looking through the water and there's reeds that are outside of the water. It's this kind of this discombobulation of exactly what we're seeing that's really, really interesting and energizing in that photograph. Tracy's Night Laundry is kind of fun because it kind of caused some controversy because it's not a landscape, a lot of people had said, but the show is called Sense of Place, and this definitely gives you that. And this kind of the lighting is really fun, and the glow of the laundry. I think all in all, it kind of definitely gives a mood. The skyline here that Tracy caught is it's really perplexing. It has like a slightly wide angle, so there's a slight steeping kind of tip to the whole image, kind of accentuating the sky, a nice flat water. It's very surreal, very nice quality of light as well. The Boulder Flatirons piece by Melissa. The amazing thing about this one is the light tones. A very light key image. The shadows are sort of almost but not quite there. It has like a very kind of fairyland, fairy tale sensibility about it. I kind of all the Flatiron shots, I think it's kind of a real fun one. With Kent's image here, it's not about what's being photographed. It's about how he feels about what's being photographed, or the kind of created landscape that he wants to make out of this space. Again, similar to like a Holga image or something, but just creating a sensibility as opposed to documenting a place. As with Charles's storm shot that we have here, It's HDR done well, and it's very hard for me to enjoy HDR, but this is impressive. This is how it's meant to be seen. Not altering reality, just expressing all of reality. Winter Roadbed is just, it's kind of funny. It's just an interesting juxtaposition. And it's sort of whatever narrative you make up in your own head is exactly right. And it's really fun because of that. It's very, for the viewer, you can kind of make up any narrative you want. And it's a fun, beautiful image. John's image here, Forgotten Train, really has a desolate kind of post-industrial feel to it. Sort of, there should be working men, there should be working cars, working vehicles, but there's nothing going on. So it has sort of this state of disrepair about it.